Hey, what's up guys, it's Fish here and welcome to another epic Medieval Kingdoms 12-12 battle for Attila Total War. Today we have a pretty cool 1 vs 1 battle between me and Hacksaw the Hunter. I am playing as Epirus, one of my new favourite factions in this mod. I love the way that it's just the basic infantry, look at their swords, it just looks really different and unique and interesting, but we'll get onto that when we go through the army comps. And Hacksaw the Hunter is playing as the Holy Roman Empire, so it's going to be a very difficult battle for me. It's going to be me fighting uphill for sure the whole way through this battle, as our Holy Roman Empire are a really strong faction, so it's going to be interesting. However, we did spend the exact same amount of money, so you know, the money wise it should be pretty even, hopefully. So yeah, it is a close battle as well. From what I remember, it was yeah, down to the wire pretty much, so hopefully you guys are looking forward to it indeed. And also it's a pretty cool map as well. Like, Attila has some really nice, like, unique, like, maps which are just hidden away in the thousands of maps that Attila has, like, kind of on the campaign map. For sure, because, like, you know, like, you don't come across like a village every so often in Attila, and it's just nice when you do. So let's run through the army comps real quickly. We'll start off with my Epirus army. On my left flank, I knew I needed more support for my cavalry. I knew my cavalry were not going to be a good match for Hacksaw's, like, more elite German knights, so I decided to get go pretty heavy on the spearmen. So I decided to get 3 units of my heavy spearmen on this flank and another 3 on my other flank, and this was just to use as a support force to help me win the cavalry engagements, and then hopefully I can use that to then win the infantry engagements. So I've got 3 units of heavy spears on this side, again looking pretty spectacular. I really do love the Epirus looking units, like, they look really cool. Definitely one of my new favourite factions in this mod. Then behind that I have my heavy mercenary German knights. So these are actually like mercenaries from the Holy Roman Empire, which is kind of funny. But I've got 6 units of these guys, 3 on this side and then 3 on the other side, supported by extra spearmen. Obviously we'll slow it down so we don't miss any of the action as we advance slowly to battle. But on my front line I have 5 units of heavy archers. These guys again are pretty good in melee, so they can definitely hold their own. Some of them with their swords out looking pretty cool, and they obviously even have shields on their back as well, so I can use these guys to help resupply my line after the melee engagement is kind of finished. Then for my main line of infantry, I have, I think, like 6 or 7 or maybe even 8 or 9 units of heavy infantry. As I said, this is large armies, and I really love their swords. Hopefully, as this mod gets more and more developed, they add in just more unique weapons for each of the factions. You know, just these, like, curved swords really just add like a really big difference to the game. At least I feel like it just makes a big difference. You know, it makes units feel fresh instead of just kind of the same copy and pasta every single time. Then behind that I have my elite unit of heavy infantry. These guys are just beasts. They could pretty much take on an entire army by themselves. I mean, maybe that'd be interesting to watch. Maybe we could do a survival battle just with these guys. They're just so sick. I think their name is somewhat related to the Vandrian Guard. So yeah, they're just really cool. Like, look at this dude holding his weapon with his gauntlets on. That looks sick. So I've got 4 units of these guys. These guys are going to support my main infantry line, kind of fill in the gaps where I'm lacking. Then I have some more of my heavy spearmen supporting the rest of my cavalry. So I actually have 7 units of heavy spearmen. I went pretty heavy, and maybe I could have actually gone a bit weaker on them. Then finally I obviously have the rest of my German knights, and then I have 2 units of spear militia, my weakest spearmen. Again, just kind of act as a nice cheap unit to maybe try and cause some issues with Hacksaw's cavalry. So then if we look at Hacksaw's forces, he has a unit of mounted sergeants. These are a pretty heavily armoured, or one of the higher up shock cavalry for the Holy Roman Empire. Then he has his best cavalry, the Imperial Knights. These guys are going to be absolutely just devastating to try and deal with. Look at them. They're just armoured so heavily. They're going to be brutal to deal with. Here's another unit of these mounted sergeants. Then here's 2 units of Pavese back here, marching slowly into combat. Then his main infantry line consists, he's kind of gone for a mixed infantry line. He has some sergeants from the high period, kind of making up, you know, half of his line. And then as we go further down, he has some more of the heavy elite of the late period. Yeah, then he has some more sergeants down here of the late period. Obviously backed up with more Pavese. You know, these guys are going to be brutal to get through their armor. And then on his missile line, he has crossbows, and he also has handgunners as well. So these handgunners are deadly. I'm definitely going to try and take them out as quickly as physically possible. Then finally, Hacksaw has a nice little force he's moving around the forest here. He has some more mounted sergeants, and then a final unit of Imperial Knights. Again, they're just so freaking good. They really are. They're awesome. I love using them in combat. And obviously he also has his general as well. So yeah, I think we're ready to just start this battle and get this on the go. You guys were complaining, or at least a few of you guys were complaining about me doing too many survival battles. I mean, I only really do 1 or 2 a week. And yeah, I still have plenty of battles, online battles like this, which you guys can watch lag-free. And this will be glorious, because this is still, you know, an 8,000 man battle. Yeah, this is still almost a 9,000 man, but this is a 9,000 man battle. Yeah, 9,500 man battle. So, you know, it's still pretty awesome indeed. You can't complain for just a 1v1. This is nothing to be sniffed at whatsoever. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to drop a like and a comment down below, as it really supports the channel. And you know, it's a bit more PvP action, you know, a bit more, you know, competitive stuff. And if we just take a nice little glimpse of the outside, you can see we're marching closer and closer. My archers do have the range advantage now, so they can start peppering away. But Haxor's going to move his infantry in and his crossbows in a little bit closer. You can see my main line moving up as well, just because I don't want to let him have a nice little cavalry charge on me. And we're going to start off by doing the first initial volleys. You can see my bowmen are drawn. They are waiting for the order. I love this little barbarian like encampment. And there we go. The first volley has been shot out. We're going to be trying to pepper down his crossbowmen and his handgunners first. The quicker we kill the handgunners, the better it is for me. The handgunners can just be so brutal. Haxor is still moving his force along here, which I do actually know that is happening right now, because I remember seeing these spearmen moving, so I assume he's put his cavalry over there for sure. And at the moment we're doing quite a few like far away shots. Don't worry, when we get into the battle there will be a bunch of close-ups for sure. Again, because this is just the skirmish phase right now, us trying to feel out each other before we really commit our forces. Because I know, I'm not really 100% sure, because this is only like the 2nd time I've played as Epirus, or maybe the 3rd time I've played as Epirus, so I'm not sure how well my heavy infantry will do against his infantry, like if they're going to hold, if I need to like kind of condense my line a little bit, or stretch it out. So again, I'm also kind of trying to test out how good Epirus are. And there we go, a volley back from his crossbowmen, going to be taking down a few people. And his handgunners are opening up, probably taking down a whole bunch more of my men. I'm going to seize this advantage though, as Haxor's not looking. And I'm going to be charging down these handgunners, getting a beautiful charge into them. Haxor is immediately going to be kind of committing a unit of his heavy infantry. And I'm just going to do a hit and run tactic and get the hell out of there with my cavalry. This does open me up for a volley from his handgunners as I try and run away. But I think overall that was a pretty good exchange for me. And I'm even going to go in for another charge now. I see him moving his infantry back into a defensive position. So I'm going to be charging once again into these handgunners. I really do want to get rid of them. But this is risky. I'm committing an entire unit of my cavalry, which is so important in Medieval Kingdoms 1212 to win the cavalry engagements. You know, so losing the horses I did here, and as I said, this is going to open me up to a volley from his handgunners. You can see they're shooting me in the back, getting some pretty nice hits on the back of these guys, and I'm losing horses. So even though I managed to deal with a unit of handgunners, you can see both of them are somewhat wounded, this one a little bit more. My cavalry is wounded. So because my cavalry is wounded, you know, that's going to hurt me later on in the battle. Hopefully I did enough damage to the handgunners to kind of make it worth it, but who knows. The infantry is getting ready to form up, and I do not think Haxor is moving. Believe he is in shield wall. Yeah, his infantry are in shield wall, which is going to give him a huge buff along this line. His infantry are going to be doing so well because they're in shield wall. However, I like a task. I like to attack, so, you know, this does not scare me. And the fact is, he does have a lot of not so much weak infantry, but this infantry isn't as good as the high infantry. So I feel like my heavy infantry can go toe-to-toe with these guys, but maybe not so much go toe-to-toe with the heavy infantry. So we're going to try and put the pressure on. I'm obviously going to be advancing forward as my archers shoot. I also feel like I can actually win this cavalry engagement as well, at least on this right side, because he does only have one unit of these heavy knights, and he's going to use this advantage, and whilst I'm kind of looking over here to push, and I'm immediately going to pounce on this. I do not want to give him time over here, so I'm going to be charging my cavalry in, and I'm going to be doing something a little bit cheeky as well. I'm going to be charging some of his heavy infantry over here, trying to get a nice cavalry charge off, just to keep these guys a bit occupied. And I'm also, if we slow it down, because obviously I'm charging at the moment, we'll watch this initial charge first, and then we'll go look at my little sneaky move over by the cavalry. So we're going to be trying to break this shield wall. I love that as they just bash against the shields. It looks really cool. I really enjoy that for sure. And more of my infantry is pouring in. So something smart I did over here, I actually do get a charge off as well. I did not notice I got this charge off. So I do actually get a really cool charge off. But as well as that, I kind of tried to stop his spears from getting involved. So what I do is I send one unit of spears to attack his cavalry. And then I send my secondary unit of spears to engage his closest spears. So he tries to turn, but I'm actually going to engage this unit before it really gets over and into this fight. You know, I'm going to try and split it up so that a lot of these other PVs do not engage, and it's also going to mean that I engage the second unit as well. So because of this, he's kind of losing the spear engagement in this cavalry fight because a lot of his spearmen are fighting my secondary unit. And then, you know, I'm getting 2v1 with these spears, but that doesn't really matter, you know. As long as I'm winning the cavalry engagement, that's the main thing. The infantry fight is in full force right now. You can see it fully going in. I just love Epirus. They're like my favorite faction, I think, so far in this game. And if we go more down the battle line, you can see I'm moving in my elite troops. They're going to be going in and trying to cut down these sergeants in the high period, or the late period. I'm hoping I need these guys to really rack me up some kills for sure. Because as I was saying before, my infantry aren't really a match. You can see they're just going in. They are cutting people down left, right, and center. I freaking love this unit so much. I think I might just bring an entire army of them. Over on this left flank, I decided to go a bit more defensive against these late period heavy infantry sergeants, because I know that my infantry really isn't going to be strong enough to really kill them. So I tried to go ahead and just enclose my battle line, force him to attack me, even pushing in some of my archers as well. And if we look over here, you can see that my spearmen are also holding up another unit of high period infantry, which is really good. You know, the spear unit's a lot cheaper and a lot less deadly. The cavalry engagement over here is going to begin very soon. I want to go on the aggression, because if I can kill his cavalry early, then it's going to help me out, because I really need to start getting onto these handgunners and, you know, hammer and anviling into the back of these lines. Because it's going to be a hard fight. As I've mentioned before, my infantry is not going to be able to stand up against the late period Imperial soldiers. It's going to be difficult indeed. But I believe in the Epirus soldiers. My general is up here, popping his war cry. I've got some cavalry knights over here. And here we go. We're going to get a brilliant charge into the back of these Pavese crossbowmen. Nice. Look at that. Sending them flying, sending them to the floor. They are going to then receive a fire. Haxo's done a good job at kind of forming up another unit. And he's also going to commit his general, which is risky business. If he loses his general here, then, you know, this could completely turn. Because if we look at the balance of power right now, it is in Haxo's favor. And you can see that the cavalry engagement started over here. The cavalry engagement on the left side, or I guess my right side, is somewhat going in my favor, but it's a struggle, because we've got to remember as well, I'm definitely going to be losing this spear engagement because of my cheeky tactic and the fact we're against these Pavese spearmen who are just mighty warriors, heavily armored, brutal in melee combat. The actual cavalry engagement, I bet, you know, my German knights aren't going to be able to take out these Imperial knights by themselves. But with the support of the spears and maybe a few extra cavalry units, hopefully I can at least maybe rout them and get them the hell out of there. That's kind of my main goal. You can see this battle has been split in two as well. The central fight is kind of just broken into this little scrap which we're having right now. You've got my Vanguard-esque unit just going in, cutting down these soldiers. I really wish I brought more of these guys, just because they're awesome. They really are. Look at them. They're just sending people back. A guy just got sliced. Oh, beautiful. And we're actually going to win there. This other unit of units managed to claim victory. Sorry about that. I'm going to be pushing on more of his handgunners. If we look over here, my heavy archers are actually committed. I'm starting to break, you know, his main line, which is really good. But he just has them Imperial Knights left, which are going to be just difficult to take out. Again, we just watch this little engagement. I'm moving more men on. I want to try and get on the flank of these soldiers. You can see I am breaking through more of this ex-Vanguard, which I'm just going to call them back because it's so much easier. But I know what their actual name is, but it's just so much easier to pronounce them as they are. These guys are going to form up and hopefully get a nice charge into the back. They are getting shot as well by the Pavese, which is not going to be good for them. The fact that they're getting shot in the back is just going to rack up kills because they don't have any shield block, so that is going to be difficult. But the rest of them are just pushing on. You know, I feel like that right flank's going well for me. It's just this left flank's being a bit difficult to kind of secure. I'm going to move some more heavy infantry in here. as we push further and further forward. Come on, let's see some decapitations. There we go. I called for it and we got given one immediately. So if we go back over here, if we look over on this cavalry side, we can see that the Imperial Knights are just doing so well. Even though they're up against all these spearmen, they're still just being so difficult for us to kind of just cut down. I mean, luckily we are managing to keep them in combat, which is good. But the fact that they're just fighting hard, and even with my additional spear support, it's causing me an issue, and I'm losing horses, which I really need elsewhere. And obviously these Pavese are starting to get a nice little surround on my Epirus spearmen, which is not good for me whatsoever. If we press K and kind of have a little glimpse of the actual battlefield, you can see that I'm kind of winning on this right flank, but Haxo is winning on the left flank for sure. His Imperial Knights are just being so deadly. And oh, look at this, my Vanguard Guard unit, my ex-Vanguard Guard unit have been surrounded by Pavese and Imperial Knights. I don't know if they know where to go. They've got the late sergeants on their right and the Pavese on their left. I mean, if any unit is able to deal with these Pavese, it is this unit. But Haxor's going to then charge. Oh my God, he just got decapitated. Nice, heads going everywhere. The sergeant there as well in his golden armor. Beautiful. And do we actually rout them? I think we actually rout the Imperial sergeants. What are they even called? They're just like sergeants, right? Sergeants for the late period. Yeah, with the support of our extra infantry, we do actually manage to rout them, which is amazing. You can see this right flank is actually going in my favor, but balance of power is not. You know, Haxo has a lot of elite units left, so it's just difficult. I have a lot of, men, soldiers still here fighting. I'm definitely trying to deal with as much of his cavalry as possible, even having to throw in my own general for that to be a case, even to kind of have a chance of dealing with Haxo's cavalry. I threw in my general, and you can see Haxo does still have a couple units, I think 2 units right here of late sergeants, and they are just so solid. I don't think I gave the order for these guys to charge. I don't think they're actually charging into these Pavese, which is a real micro on my part. A real bad micro on my part. Because a lot of them are just facing and fighting the rear. Again, they are fighting something, so I'm not too sure. This unit is just so sick, though. Let me know in the comments, if you're interested in them survival battles. Let me know if you want me to do, like, an entire army of them. Well, not an entire army, but, like, a nice detachment of them up against a huge enemy force. Maybe we could even try and retake Constantinople with just an entire army of them or something. That could be very, very interesting for sure. My spearmen are doing a good job of holding up these Pavese. Some of my men are rallying in the center. If we press K, we can really kind of just take a glimpse of just the mess this battle was turned into. Just like a proper battle would do, it's just turned into a complete mess. Originally we had these formations and everything was pretty, but now it's a complete mess. I've kind of won on this right flank. You can see I'm finally cleaning up the rest of his cavalry here. Obviously, he does have 2 units of PVs I have to be kind of careful of. But, I'm reforming here. I have archer superiority now. I have a lot of ammunition left, and I can use that to my advantage to take down these infantry. And here we go. I'm charging it into these sergeants of the late period with my heavy infantry. Going to use these guys to try and take care of the sergeants. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. Oh my God, so brutal. These Imperial Knights are just so good. Especially Haxor's going to throw in his general as well. I have a few of these two-handed sword warriors left. They're going to be doing a good job. As well as that, I am volleying in the side with my archers. I'm not going to be like what I could have done here, which probably would have definitely have, clinched victory and kind of meant that, or a cavalry charge though. Into the back of these sergeants. I'm going to take that though. That's going to do plenty of damage. Something I could have done to maybe reduce my casualties or clinch victory was I could have shot his general to death. But, I'm not about that. I'm not like that desperate to win. We're trying to have a cool battle. I could have shot his general to death, but I feel like that's a bit of a cheat. My general is going to come in and hit the back of these Imperial Knights. Even catching a few of Haxo's Knights, but these gunners again, the fact that Haxo brought gunners was just so brutal. He also has all these PVs moving up. I'm going to be using my archer force as best as possible to take them out. A few of these Vangian people are still here as well, fighting some of the knights of Haxo's general. I mean, all it takes is one lucky swipe, and we kill the Emperor in his purple. I mean, he's not hard to see, right? I'm going to be falling back. As long as my archers can keep shooting, I stand a chance in this battle. Keep volleying, you brave, brave warriors. Bringing up more infantry as well. Going to be getting charges in, but again, Haxo's Emperor is just running amok through this battle. He is definitely causing me so many issues. My heavy infantry are going to engage the PVs for their last little stand. It does not look pretty good for me. It does not look good whatsoever for me. You can see the balance power is not in my favor. I have around about 400 men left, dropping quickly, and Haxo still has 900 men. These gunners again volleying into my general, taking down so many of them. I'm going to get him the hell out of there. Just try and use my men. Try and rally the men as much as possible. You know, if I can cause a mass rout, if I can kill Haxo's general, then maybe victory can still be mine. I'm going to be using this charge. I'm just going to be charging into these PVs because I need to make sure that I secure my general and my archers. I don't want my archers to rout. So I'm actually going to charge my general into these PVs and then try and run them through onto Haxo's general. That's really my only chance now, is to get the kill on the Emperor, but he is back in the rear of his line. He is somewhat bloody, so you know the archers are trying to do it. They're getting hits off on the Emperor, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. My general is fighting bravely for sure, but he's just no match for these Imperial Knights. You can see my general himself as well, I believe, in that red velvet. Oh, the Emperor is actually fighting, I think. Oh no, a lot of them have the red velvet saddles. That's really cool though. That's really cool that they've got like the dark red on the saddles. That's very nice. Another reason I love Epirus. For sure, but I think that's going to be it. There we go. A valiant defeat. Haxo was victorious with the Holy Roman Empire, but Epirus put up a mighty, mighty fight for sure. Very brutal battle as well. Indeed. If we look at the kills, you can just see, look at them. They just stand out above all. 282 kills, 300 kills, 350 kills, 250 kills. Like, these guys just did so much damage during this battle. My general only killing 200 and only really losing a few men, which was pretty impressive. My infantry just wasn't up to standard against his. You know, these sergeants of the late period are really, really good, and Haxo used them very well. My archers didn't do too much. I kind of brought a lot of spearmen as well, so maybe getting some more infantry instead of these extra spearmen could have helped me out, because all my cavalry did decently, apart from a few of them which got caught out, I guess. But yeah, that was a pretty fun battle. If you want to check out Haxo's channel, I'll leave a link in the description down below. Make sure you drop a like and a comment on this video if you enjoyed it, and give me ideas for what factions you want to see come up against each other next. And let me know about that idea with this unit right here, the Anglo-Vargoi, however you pronounce that. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about that idea down below. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time, and fish out.